Okay, guys, this is the material that we covered on week number 3, chapters 7 and 8, which is the material that we are going to have in our first test, which will be on September 23rd. Okay, so this is the intention to serve as a study guide for you. Okay, so we covered the pronombres del complemento, directo, indirecto. These are the object pronouns. And remember that when both an indirect object pronoun and a direct object pronoun are used with the same verb, the indirect object pronoun precedes the direct object pronoun, okay? So that material is part of page 228. Also, what happens when both pronouns must attach to the end of an affirmative commands and precede negative commands. The rule also covers that when both a conjugated verb and an infinitive verb are used, both object pronouns can precede the conjugated verb or attach to the end of the infinitive, okay? So the examples show the rule applied. Also, when both pronouns are in the third person, the indirect object pronoun le or les becomes se, okay? You are by this time experts in applying that. And the pronoun se can be clarified by adding the phrase a or a plus the prepositional pronoun, okay? We are referring to a person. We need that prepositional a. Then we cover las compras on page 228. I encourage you to look after that because of the vocabulary and it will be also part of your test. The linking ideas in page 228, when we are writing a list of different elements and we are using E, but my next word or my next noun starts with I or with HI, so I have to switch that Y for an E. And the same happens when we are establishing a contradiction. Or, okay, if my noun starts with O, I have to use U, okay? So remember that. On Wednesday, we discussed ¿Dónde está el museo?, some vocabulary, and how we request, understand, and give directions. So look over the vocabulary on page 241 that goes over the museum, ¿Dónde está el museo? And also the different phrases, en la calle, lugares, and puntos de interés, okay? As well, the page 238, section 8.1, así se habla, cómo voy a, because it will be important for you to remember that. Lastly, on Friday, we just covered the formal commands. How do we establish them depending on the conjugation, okay? And the formal commands, we are using the second person in the singular and the second person in the plural, okay? And we have to clarify if we are referring to a tú with tome or to a usted, to an usted tome or to an ustedes tomen, okay? And coma, coman, abra, abran, okay? Remember that we, in the regular verbs, we drop the O from the first singular of the present tense, like paso, pas, I get rid of that O, and to the stem, I add the endings E or N for verbs like that they end in R. We add to the stem a or an when we are talking about verbs that end with er and ir, okay? That is something that you have to review. And also the big exemptions that we discussed when my verb ends in car, gar, sar, her, okay? Also, these verbs have irregular formal command stems. For example, dar, saber, estar, sea, ir, okay? You have to remember that. And also the formal commands can become negative by placing no before the verb, okay? We're giving the command and we're having the negative command here. The no is preceding the conjugated verb in the way of a command. The pronouns usted and ustedes may be placed after the command form to make it more polite. As we said, it's not necessary to keep the pronoun in a sentence, but if you want to be more polite, it's an option for you to place the pronouns, usted and ustedes. Direct object and indirect object and reflexive pronouns follow and are attached to affirmative commands, but they precede negative commands, okay? The last topic that we covered on Friday was the section Una Visita a Lima on page 245, and the passive and third person plural passive when we are having the passive action. So the expressions like se come, se dice, they follow this format that we have the pronoun se plus the third person singular verb plus a singular subject, okay? Or instead of a singular subject, we're talking about a plural subject, okay? So the impersonal, we don't have any personal pronoun there. So we are talking about impersonal. We are not referring to anything in particular. Se abre la oficina. But the negative here, pero no se abren, okay? We require that to be plural. We are referring to a plural subject because it's las tiendas. Here, the subject is la oficina de turismo, which is singular, okay? Then the passive se is frequently seen in signs of giving information on warning. The third person plural of a verb may also be used to express an action in the passive voice when no agent is expressed. So venden, the third person plural of that verb is expressing an action. Venden periódicos en el kiosco. And the last part that's important, that section, en qué lugar de la ciudad. So you have to be able to give a direction depending where you're located at, okay? So page 247, that's all for the material that we covered last week. This is your study guide. Remember that we are always in touch. I am available during my office hours. If you request an appointment, you can set it also this week. And the free tutoring, it's also available for you, okay? Take care. We'll meet soon.